Hawkins is going to take a seat on the bench right now. You see he has not scored in the game today.
He only had 5 points in their Big East tournament loss to Marquette.
Game pressure shifts to UConn. The pressure will be on them to be able to finish off the game in the next 20 minutes.
We're hard away, bro.
Hawkins, and he wastes no time. A potential 4-point play.
Not a surprise to see Danny Hurley run something for Hawkins right out of the locker room.
Hawkins, but he's got that look. Jackson, this is Hawkins. Hawkins elevates.
29, Hawkins wide open triple. Blitzing on pick and roll. Hawkins full throttle down the lane, but clinging is a surefire NBA player. Hawkins triple, so is he. Punch it in, Hawkins again. Oh, he's been a flamer. Zeros on the clock. And Dan Hurley is taking his UConn team to the Final Four.
Blowing out all their opponents to get here to the floor. Can't make mistakes. Defense are up. Oh, that looks good. For the Husky Express, heading to a Monday night championship appearance. Now the journey, it ends right here. It's on UConn. There's Hawkins. Pulls up, fires it. It looked like Kennedy's angle on Adams. Hawkins. Oh my goodness. As close as this game has been since it was 16-12. And we got 5 minutes to go for the title. Here's Hawkins. That's huge. He's had two. Hurley and the Huskies have their dreams come true.
I'm a national championship, man. National champion. Nobody can take that away from me ever. Ever in my life, nobody can take that away from me. I love these guys to death. We work hard every single day. We deserve this, man. We really deserve it. This guy right here, I love all of them, man. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Hawkins again. And he sticks it from deep.
Felt like Moco wasn't giving me anything. I wanted a bigger challenge, playing in the best league in the country, arguably. So went up there, junior year, got to play with guys like Earl Timberlake, Hunter Dickinson.
I was surprised, but yet again, I was happy for him. You know, he did what was best for him. He went to a situation that he felt could uplift him as a player, and you know, with making that decision, it got him a lot of recognition nationally. You know, rankings and, you know, being where he's at today. So he did what was best for him, and, you know, I was always happy for him. You know what I'm saying? I still am, you know. So at the end of the day, you always got to remember that no matter how things may look from the outside in, you know, people are going to make the decision that, you know, best, you know, makes them feel good. So he made the right decision for him and his family, and, you know, everything worked out for him in the end. So I think that's pretty much how I saw things.
And Jordan was always polite and respectful with me as his coach. He was coachable, and you know, that's the stuff I really remember. I mean, anytime I want, I could go on YouTube and pull up Richard Montgomery Gaithersburg games and see Jordan dunking in this gym, or you know, hitting threes, and how fired up he would get. And you know, he was a competitor. So on the court, I always think of him that way. That kid is tough as nails. But just overall, he was just a fun kid to be around. When he left, I really did miss him, you know, just being in the gym every day.
We're playing in Maryland team camp after Jordan's freshman year at Gaithersburg, and we're playing against Gaithersburg, and they are unbelievably talented. We win the game, but at the end of the game, I'm like, wow, Gaithersburg has a very high-level team, a lot of talent. I believe they're going to go on to be a power in Maryland Public School basketball, possible state championship team. And I don't think anything else about it. We do have a rule, like unless we're approached first, we do not recruit a young man once he is in high school. I will recruit you as hard as I can if I want you in the 7th and 8th grade, but I will not approach anybody myself if you're already attending a high school.
First of all, anybody play basketball in the DMV, that's your goal, is to play for in the WCAC. DeMatha, Paul VI, Gonzaga, somebody, because those are was the best conference in high school basketball in the United States. Jordan, once he went to Nike camp, it changed Jordan's life. When he came back, it changed his life, because I got a call when he was at Nike camp that Mike Jones wants to talk to you. So I said, okay. Me and Mike Jones, I need you in my office Monday. What time can you be there? I came down there, me and Jordan. We talked. A couple days later, Jordan was going to DeMatha.
I believe it was a Monday. I'm literally at basketball camp. Craig Hawkins walks in. Jordan walks in with him, and walking behind him is Paul Deanna. And Paul's white. Craig and Jordan are black. I'm looking at Paul like, what are you doing here? And he's just like, I'm his godfather. And I'm like, what? So he's like, I tried to tell you about him a couple years ago. And I'm just like, wow. And literally we walk into my office, we sit down, and I go to get ready to present to them how I think he would fit in our plans for the next 2 years, what a DeMatha education could do for him, what our DeMatha community is all about. And I literally go to speak, and before I can speak, Craig stops me. And Jordan's dad says, hey, coach, I'm a straight shooter. I don't believe in beating around the bush. I'm here because this man right here, and he points to Paul, is the only person that I trust with my son. And he tells me that I can trust you. So, and he literally stands up and says, if you would like to coach my son for the next 2 years and you're going to do right by him, you got him. And reaches his hand out to me. So I'm sitting there like, okay. So I stand up and I shake his hand, and they literally start to leave. Like that was the meeting. And I'm like, ho, ho, ho. You know, at least let's talk about details. Like, you know, we got to get you to apply, blah, 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 and all of that.
During the weekdays, I got class in the morning. Then we usually practice around 1, if not 1, like 12:45. So that's pretty much my weekday. If we don't go like on a Saturday, we'll practice. We'll lift like in the morning, then practice after. Sunday, we usually play pickup, or I just go in the gym by myself. Like I usually go at night, like every day. I go at night, like do some shots up on the. I mean, I'm working on pretty much everything. I want to double everything and just do it better. But a big thing I'm working on is like facilitation, getting the ball to others, my handles, keeping them more tight. So like yeah, stuff like that. I think I formed a strong relationship with everybody. Corey just came in. Me and him got real close. I feel like everybody on the team has a pretty good relationship. We all hang around each other a lot. So, yeah.
It wasn't easy for Jordan. It wasn't easy. I know Jordan will be one of the first ones to tell you, you know, Montgomery County sometimes has this label as being soft and things like that. Jordan came in and he did not want to be looked at that way. He was trying to set the record straight. And one Earl Timberlake made it very miserable for him every single day. He beat on Jordan every day in pickup and open gym and workouts. He challenged Jordan every day, was so physical with him, to the point where I had to go to Earl and say, hey man, you might want to lighten up a little bit, like this is going to be our teammate, like we really need him. And Earl Timberlake literally looked me dead in my eyes and says, I know, and that's why I'm doing it. We've got to make sure he's going to be ready when we go to Gonzaga, when we go to O'Connell, when we go to St. John's, and we go to, you know, all the teams, Paul the Six, all the teams that, you know, we have these rivalries with, and the environments are crazy. We've got to make sure Jordan is ready for that. So literally every single day, if I did not put Jordan and Earl on the same team, Jordan would make sure he guarded Earl every possession. And to Jordan's credit, he never backed down. Jordan always would guard Earl. He wouldn't hide from it. He wouldn't miss a workout. He was always there, would never say two words, but he would literally go through it every day. And as soon as we got to the season in November, December, you could see the difference in his game, the confidence he played with. And the one thing he never had to worry about when we played, no matter who it was, there wasn't another Earl Timberlake on the other team.
Well, when I first went to DeMatha, bro, I hated that shit so much, bro. It was all uniforms, got to drive like an hour away from school. All boys school, no girls there. But after a while, I got used to it, started loving it. It's like going to school with your homies every day, so it's not as bad as people think. So yeah, once you get used to it, you'll be all right.
So Jordan's junior year at DeMatha was the 2019-2020 season. I believe we started somewhere ranked like number 3 in the country. There were a lot of expectations that our team had. We had 2 potential All-Americans on our team, in Earl Timberlake and Hunter Dickinson. We had come off of a season where we had won 33 games. We had fallen short of a WCAC championship, but we had finished ranked number 7 in the country. And that was coming off of another year where we did win the WCAC championship and we had finished number 5 in the country. So we were on quite the roll. And, you know, Jordan was a huge piece to us continuing to be as good as we had been the previous couple of years. So when he comes in, there's a lot of attention placed on him because some people really looked at him as that missing piece or that X factor. And he proved to be exactly that. If you look at the beginning of the season, him still trying to find his way, he seemed to always play much better in the second half than he did in the first half. He seemed to always play much better the second time we played an opponent than the first time because he was learning. And I think that's a huge quality of his that, again, he could have a rough start and instead of hanging his head or, you know, really, you know, having a pity party, feeling bad for himself, he always elevated himself to the level that he needed to be at. And I mean, that's what champions do, and that's why Jordan became a champion in that 2020 season.
The coach has been great. I started to build a great relationship with all of them. Coach Hurley, Coach Kamani, Coach Luke, all those guys, Coach Moore. We're starting to build a great bond. So yeah, I don't even play games no more. I just watch Disney Plus and HBO Max.
What you been watching?
Boondocks, SpongeBob. Been watching Harry Potter too. Yeah, caught me lacking. Nearest Chick-fil-A is like an hour away, bro. That's crazy. So like I gotta eat mostly food up here. So yeah.
This guy complaining about the Chick-fil-A in literally every single interview.
Bro, like, you know, bro, it's Chick-fil-A from my house in Maryland, 5 minutes. I gotta go an hour. Crazy. UConn, like, they like made it easy. Like during the Zooms, they weren't like awkward. It was like he was having a good time. Like my dad laughing, we're all laughing. Had some good conversations. Told me my role, really liked how they were gonna use me. So yeah, like UConn, I feel like UConn picked me before I picked them.
The Zooms, you know, it was tough, but we was in a pandemic. We had to do what we had to do. You know, the time was coming where he was going to eventually graduate, and we had to decide. The decision was totally on Jordan. I was hoping he chose Connecticut because I love Danny. I just love that guy. He's a Hurley, And anybody know anything about this game and know about his dad and the legacy that he has in New Jersey, it's a no-brainer, you know?
I knew they wanted me to go there because like during the Zoom, it wasn't like any other Zoom, like we just have like regular conversations. Like they just made it so comfortable for us. So as I was going through the process, I was just on the phone with Hurley one day. I was like, I really like this guy, I'm gonna commit. So I told my family, told my dad. They are excited. We got on the Zoom the next day. Told them I was committing. Hurley ran off the camera. So yeah, it was definitely a special moment with my family because this is what we worked for. This is what all the times, blood, sweat, and tears were all for. So it was a special moment.
So yes, it was very stressful. Countless phone calls, Zooms, and things of that nature. He didn't get the, real experience as other athletes had, to go visit the campus. And so for us to pick UConn was like just solely off of our heart. Like it just felt right. For us to never even meet any of the coaches in person, it just felt like we just had a connection with the staff and the head coach. So it just felt like it was the best decision for him. And they put him as a priority, so that made it easier for us to decide.
We didn't have to worry about Jordan, maybe looking at the wrong things in terms of making his decision. He was raised the right way. And he was looking for a place that he could really go and grow into the player that he believes he can be. We all believe he can be. But navigating that with Zoom interviews and trying to establish relationships over a computer screen where you can't really do it in person, Jordan's situation was probably tailor-made to have to handle the adversity of that because he had mom and he had dad in his corner and other family members around him. So that, my advice to him was when he got down to it was like, hey, I'm just going to be proud of you, whatever decision you make, because I know you've got great choices. And he did have great choices. And I believe he made a really good one. Going into the playoffs that year, again, we had, what I would consider the bullseye on our back, but we were used to that. We were the number one seed. We had only lost one league game, and we had literally just lost one of our last league games over at Paul VI. And so I think we finished 19-1 on our league record. And going into the playoffs, it was like literally just like it is every year. It's like, hey, you got to win 3 games in 3 days against 3 very good opponents. So I remember telling our guys before the quarterfinal game, hey, just get us to Monday. Get us to Monday, and you'll realize how easy this is. And ease is probably not the appropriate term, but the first game is always the toughest. Again, I think for Jordan, just getting the environment, being in that environment of the WCAC tournament, the 4 games that got you that, and then getting over to the Final Four at American and having Roy Williams and one of his assistants sitting courtside and having Jay Wright come and like all of these schools sitting on press row, all the media guys on the end lines. This for high school basketball, it was the big stage. And again, it was all about just getting to Monday. And we survived 2 games just to get to Monday.
For him to win the regional his first year in high school in Montgomery County, then his first year at DeMatha they won the championship. So it was just like, oh wow, like, so I'm praying UConn, we're gonna get his first championship. But yeah, it was just amazing. Like, even looking back at those videos, I still get like a rush from it. I was like, I probably should have been sitting over there with the DeMatha kids, because I was like really acting a fool, you know, channel. It was just so amazing. Like, I still, like, every time I look at the videos, I just get a rush from it.
I don't even know how she got on the court.
Yeah, like, let me tell you, it took me a while to get on that court, but I was determined to get on that court because they weren't letting people on. And then as soon as I got like a little space, I went running.
I don't even know how she got on the court. My mom, I just seen her, she came up to me, gave me a big hug. I was like, I don't know how to be. I wasn't going to cry, then my mom came up, I got a little emotional. It was like, yeah, I think that was a really special moment, and I'll probably remember forever.
As a father, it don't get no better than that. As a father, it gets no better than that. Jordan made big shots in the championship game. He had 17 big points. It was incredible for him to grow under Earl and Hunter took him under their wing, and I appreciate that because it made him grow a lot, and that's what DeMatha did.
So first, just talk about, obviously, 2-3 years ago, I was in your house talking to you. You know, you got to say you want to be a guy from Montgomery County. You're 2-3 days away. You know, you're going to be drafted. Everyone back home is going to be watching. What does that mean to you to kind of realize that dream?
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I just feel like it came by so fast. For like yesterday, I was back at Gettysburg High School. Right? I was back here just playing with Coach Jones and the rest of my teammates. But now, it's actually here. It's crazy. I mean, I can't wait. I'm excited for the challenge. So.
This is my first time talking to you since you won a national championship.
Yeah.
When I spoke to your mom a long time ago, she called you a champion on every level. You won Gaithersburg, you won at DeMatha, you get to win at UConn. Just, I mean, it's a lot to go into, but as quick as you can, talk about that run.
I mean, yeah, I got one more, man. I mean, one more championship to go, every single level. But that championship during the UConn run was a really special team. Not gonna get teams like that very often. That team was extremely special. I love those guys. It was just fun. It was really fun. We just had fun playing the game of basketball together, and that's why that team was so special.
How do you try to keep yourself like level-headed at a time like this? You know what I mean? It's like, it can be overwhelming. You know what I mean? You got agents calling you all the time. You got different teams. Just trying to stay level, stay calm, and kind of get through it. What's kind of your biggest secrets for that?
I mean, keep the main thing. Basketball in your hand. That's what you got to here. I just think about that. I mean, I'm a hooper first, and everything else comes second. So I try to put that mindset, and that's what got me this far. So
I've obviously talked a lot to you about what being from around here means to you. You know, you got kind of whole area rooting for you now as we get to the draft. What do you try to take from growing up in the DMV, wherever you end up? You could end up obviously anywhere in the country, really. But what are you kind of trying to take that with you? What are you going to try to bring with you to the NBA?
Well, that toughness that I got being raised from here, that chip on my shoulder I always had. I mean, we got some guys from here that can really hoop. So you got to prove yourself every day, and I'll continue doing that at the next level. So,
Jordan, man, I really appreciate you.
All the time they made for me, all the sacrifices, all the time missing work, all the getting up early for work the next day. It's just I love them for it, and I'm going to repay them in the way for making it and making sure they don't have to work another day in their life. Without my mom, I don't know what I would be doing. Basketball, school, life. She's helped me with so much with everything. She stays on me, makes sure I'm doing the right thing. Teach me so much lessons about life. Teach me I wouldn't be in the position I am now. So I'm blessed to have her, best mom in the world.
Thanks.
With the 14th pick in the 2023 NBA Draft, the New Orleans Pelicans select Jordan Hawkins from the University of Connecticut.
National champion Jordan Hawkins